the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was born the second week of October in 1897 to William and Marie, who went in the name of their former slave master, Poole, in an area near Sandersville, Georgia, and Deep Step, Georgia, about 5 miles into the woods in a community known as Bold Springs, Georgia, which is the 100th militia district of Washington County, Georgia. His father was a preacher and taught sometimes in this church. He sharecropped to earn for his family as a farmer. The parents loved their children, 8 sons and 5 daughters. But one son, Elijah, even as a child, was unusual and different. He had a yearn for learning. He studied ways of nature. He would study the Bible and practice on his brothers and sisters as a preacher. He was destined for the future. In the back of the church is a family cemetery. The family of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad moved to Cordell, Georgia, about the time our leader was about 6 years old. There, our leader worked in the field along with his brothers and sisters, planting, plowing behind a mule, reaping and harvesting, picking and chopping crops. Schooling was not a required thing for Elijah and the other blacks in the South. Only work, day and night, night and day.
It is not anything strange to see me here before you teaching what I'm teaching any more than it was in the day of Noah and Moses. We have a problem before us that must be solved. We have before us today many false accusers that we must bear with. We can't destroy them. We must bear with them. As Lot, Noah, and Moses did. We bear with until God himself takes his place to put an end to it. We cannot stop people from hating us. We cannot stop people from disputing with us. We are called haters ourselves. But I say, that is all in it too. And so we are not arguing with you who hate us. We know you should be here. Again, I say to you, I'm not self-sent. I was sent. I knew not that I would be before you here on the 10th of July, 1962, preaching to you what I'm preaching when I was a little boy. But when I was a little boy, I always wanted, and I always felt like that God wanted me to preach some preaching. But what it was, I didn't know. My father was a preacher. And I used to sit and look at him preach and faint in the pulpit. And I used to say, I hope someday God will help me to help him. The same thing that I said when I was a boy, about 10 years old, hauling some kindling to peddle off in the streets of Cordell, Georgia, at 50 cents a load. I just missed seeing the lynching of an 18-year-old young man of ours on a willow tree there in Cordell. I just missed it. The whole little town was all tense and frightened. My people, the section where he was hung and shot to death, they was all frightened. I was a 10-year-old boy. And I looked at this sight swinging. And I said, with tears in my eyes, because I knew the young man, I said, if there's a God in heaven, I pray that he grew me up and make me strong enough to get my people out from their enemies.
They say, the prophet, Elijah? No. Another thing, let me tell you. This is another trick the Arabs are playing on y'all, you know. There's 3 different names for Elijah in the Quran, spelled 3 different ways. They spell it 2 different ways in the same chapter. And then they say, well, that's one is Elijah and the one is Elias. Then who's the third? Who's that third? Could that have been the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Could it have been? Let's think about it. The Arabic, you can't dispute because it's there 3 different ways. Name another prophet in the Quran whose name is spelled 3 different ways. And why? And then name another prophet who's predicted to come as clear and as precise as it says about Elijah in the books of Malachi. And even in the books, way back in the Bible, he said, if you see me, you're going to get a double portion of it.
That's what he said.
And what did that Elijah back there do? He did the things that Christ did. He raised the dead. Were you not mentally dead? Yes. Did you know who you were before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught? No. Forget the difference in our doctrine and see what the man is trying to say and if it makes sense. Because you were so busy badgering the Honorable Elijah Muhammad about Master Farad Muhammad, about who the devil is, that you wasn't listening to what he was saying, and you sure didn't see what he did.
Many great leaders from different backgrounds and with different ideologies rose from the ranks of blacks in America, hoping to better the condition of their people. Among these leaders was the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
The so-called American Negro have to be completely re-educated. He have to be completely made over again. And the condition that he is now in, he's not fit for self.